came up with that? They must have been drunk. Hello, crawlers, and welcome to another day and another route around New York. And we are going to be following our Tribeca to the Battery route, which you can find in my best-selling book. It's available either in stores or coming to a store near you. Gabby, come and have a quick look on this. Keep it rolling, and we'll just have a look at the route that we're going to walk. We've got some amazing bars that we're going into, starting with the very oldest in New York, or at least one that claims to be the oldest. And we're going to come right down the side of the Hudson, past some of the iconic sites such as Ground Zero, and we're going to end up in the financial district where we'll pass things like the Wall Street Mall, and we might even brave walking to the edge of Battery Park and getting a look at the iconic Welcome to America. Now, the last few days that we were here, it was snowing and it was raining, and I really didn't think the weather could get any worse. It's nice and sunny, which is great, but I already lost my beanie the other day, and it is windy as anything. So yeah, we will be getting pretty cold. So where do you go when the weather's bad? You go inside and get a beer. That's where we're going now, to our first pub, which is Ear Inn.
Okay, let's explore New York's oldest bar.
The Ear Inn is pub number 1 on our Tribeca for the Battery route.
But first we've got to get there, past this protest of construction workers. We always have time for that. Power to the people. Now it's easy to find this bar from its famous broken neon sign, which was altered in the 70s to save money and bypass a lengthy new signage application. All over the walls there are paintings and memorabilia from times gone by. And it started life as a tobacco store that was believed to be turned into a bar earlier than 1835, which definitely makes it one of the oldest in New York, although the building it sits in was constructed around the 1770s for James Brown, not the singer, the aide to George Washington during the Revolutionary War, and it would have sat on the banks of the Hudson before construction work reclaimed the land. Now this old building has lived a storied life, from hosting a smuggler's den, a doctor's surgery and a brothel. Legend has it that the bar has been haunted since 1833 by the ghost of a murdered sailor called Mickey. But back to the bar, and like a lot of pubs in New York, they love to pour a Guinness. And as not all heroes wear capes, I'm not going to complain, either sitting at the bar in the great atmosphere or in this curious little old phone box, which I've seen pop up in a lot of these old pubs. Add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
Well, that was the incredible Ear Inn. And I mean, just look at it again from the outside and take a moment to appreciate this really, really old building. I mean, if you stayed in here and had a few drinks and then walked out and then looked at it, you're going to feel even more drunk than you are. Or, I don't know, maybe it will actually look straight, because this is all over the place. Now, the reason it's got the name Ear Inn is because it was, when the current owners took it over, it was more expensive for them on quite a lengthy process to apply to change the name of the bar. And so they kind of chopped this kind of B. Now it's fallen down. It must have fallen down for the wind. Let's see what it's like on the other side. The whole thing's fallen down. Because what it used to look like is the B would have been covered up with a little bit of like tape and made it look like an E. And that's where it gets the name Ear Inn. It is really windy today. I guess the sign's fallen down. I don't blame it. It's given up. But this is only the first pub and we've got a long way to go. Right, let's get cracking. Desperately trying to stop the wind from getting to this mic. It is absolutely Arctic wind on this newly bald head of mine 3 weeks after a hair transplant. I'm definitely suffering for this. And I lost my beanie the other day. I can't believe it. We need to buy another one. But we're outside pub number 2. We're not going to pop into the Greenwich Tavern right now. I mean, it was voted as one of the best sports bars in New York a little while ago, but we're actually starting this route quite early. Obviously, we like to show you the places, not the people. New York is very, very vibrant in the bar scene, so a lot of the places are rammed if we turn up in the afternoon or evening. So we're starting early today. Obviously, you've just seen us hit up Ear Inn. It's it's about midday now. A lot of these places don't open until like 2 or later than that on a Monday. And it's George Washington Day today as well. So I think a couple of other places are treating it like bank holiday. I hope you can hear me. It's really, really windy. Next time we're gonna have to start figuring this out, and I'm gonna start hiding in like doorways and stuff like that, and we'll see how we go. Let's go to the next one, which is going to show you one of the most iconic things in all of New York that I will totally fanboy out. And if you're like me in your 40s, you're also gonna love it. That's coming up next.
This is one place every 80s kid will recognise.
Walker's is pub number 3 on our Tribeca to the Battery route.
Are you even an 80s kid if you don't recognise this fire station as the Ghostbusters HQ? We've got a little time for that, but we've got pubs to go to, and into this amazing corner pub with a massive bar and a crazy high ceiling. It dates back to around about 1880. Like many of these old bars that survived through Prohibition, they've retained and framed all of their old licensing agreements. This one goes back to 1892, which for New York is a really old bar. Just like in Ear Inn down the road, there's an old telephone box, but this time it's used for storing glasses. And with a world of choice at the bar, I tried a crisp wave chaser for the first time, whilst the regular sitting at the end of the bar just out of sight kept reeling off the names of bars, trying to see if there were any that I hadn't been to. I think about 120 in 5 days covers most of them, so there's plenty more videos to come. So off we pop through the cobbled streets of Tribeca and on to the next pub.
Oh, my nose is starting to run now. It's so cold and so windy. This is a bit, I promise you, it's one of the most iconic sites in New York. Another iconic thing about New York is the sound of horns almost continually, or people walking dogs. But here we have the Ghostbusters fire station. How cool is that? I mean, they don't even hide it. Why would you? The amount of people that turn up and have photos outside that is actually a working fire station, by the way. So at any point, that door could swing open and the obnoxious sirens of the huge New York fire engines could be blaring as these people get flattened as they head out to go and deal with an emergency.
So they changed it up on us. It used to be a lot darker, more like a bass, and now it's lightening up a little bit. That is the Walker. Yeah. And this is Bruce Close. It's Bruce Close. That is awesome. You okay with that? Yeah. That's really nice. That's lovely.
So Eugene, how long have you been here? You said you're quite new?
I don't have any months that is.
A long time.
I don't have any kids.
Is that the original license up there?
That is a license. This has been a bar since 1885, 1886. That's the liquor license from 1895, 96.
I mean, that would make it one of the oldest in New York.
They're older.
There's some older, because you guys are run by the same guys that run Ear Inn?
Correct. One of the owners here is the owner of the Ear.
Yeah, yeah. So
which is one of the oldest.
Been there. Yeah, we just were in Ear Inn. Yeah, they're one of the oldest. And that building's all over the place.
Yeah.
And just like them, you've got like a old phone box in here. I've never seen it in any other pubs.
That phone used to be right there.
Uh-huh.
The Ear Inn phone booth has always been in the space it is. But I remember when I used to bartend at Ear Inn many years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember when there was a phone in that phone booth, which used to be there. The bathroom used to be here. And I remember when there was a phone in the Ear Inn phone booth.
Okay.
Where when cell phones started, you're like, go in the phone booth. No one wants to hear your fucking conversation, you know?
yeah. It's so
Get the fuck
true.
away from me.
Yeah, of course. I think because this had a lot of work done to it. Wasn't the ceiling was covered up, wasn't it, originally?
No, this is
all. I love how wonky some of this is.
All right, so the floral stuff is original. But you could see where the other stuff, that's all water damage, and they replaced it with the tin ceiling.
Yeah. And how many Ghostbusters fans do you get in?
A lot.
Must get a lot. I mean, even on a cold day like this, I wasn't expecting that there'd be like quite that crowd in the middle of the day.
It's funny,
it's like midday and there's loads of people there.
What part of England are you from?
London.
Happy President's Day, by the way.
Yeah, it's President's Day today. Yeah, this is a significant day.
It's really not.
This is a significant day. They're just looking for a holiday all the time. Look at that.
I gotta show you a picture. Last year I dressed up as George Washington, and every English tourist came in. It was like, yeah, we celebrate this holiday. It's a huge holiday.
Oh, did you?
They're like, you celebrate? Like, oh, but it's bank holiday. Everyone goes, has huge parties. Meanwhile, No one celebrates President's Day.
No one cares.
It's just a day off. It's a Monday off.
Yes. Although we are going to be down at Fraunces Tavern later on.
That's the oldest bar in New York.
That is. Although some would say that's not really a bar because it's almost like a museum now these days. But
I think it's been a bar the whole
one of the
time.
oldest buildings, isn't it?
The Sons of the American Revolution is upstairs.
Yep.
But it's been a bar the entire time.
Well,
Washington gave his farewell
Yep.
address to his troops there.
Yeah. We're going to go into the room where they did that.
It's funny because for you, and for us, an old bar is from 1800 or 1770.
Yeah.
But for you,
No,
I'm
no.
sure there's a bar down the block, a pub down the block that's been there since 1300.
Yeah, you're quite right. So we've got 3,500 pubs in London. You are exactly right. There are ones, the oldest I've ever been into was 1109, so nearly 1,000 years old. And yeah, it's really common that we've got stuff that's going back to like 1700, something
Nice.
like that. Even older, like the Cheshire Cheese is 1667, which I
Right.
filmed in. But obviously, a lot of the pubs in England really suffered and have closed down since we had COVID, right? So 3 years of COVID wipes out the pub industry. So, you know, what do you think that like 10 years of prohibition does to like the pub industry? Like they're gone, like they're not that old because you spend 10 years of it basically being illegal and that's going to wipe them out. So history's relative.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and this is a really good beer as well. So I'm very happy with that. I think we might go and see if we can interview some Ghostbusters fans outside, see if anyone wants to talk to us. That'd be a lot of fun. Thank you, Eugene. You're an absolute gent. Happy President's Day.
Happy President's Day. Celebrate accordingly.
Exactly. Cheers. I think I've got some. I think that we've switched on. Everyone loves Ghostbusters, don't they? Doesn't matter where you're from. You're from Liverpool? Oh, even in Liverpool?
We don't like a lot of stuff in Liverpool either.
No. I was in Liverpool a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, where did you go?
Filming all the pubs there.
Yeah.
What's your favourite pub in Liverpool?
So I used to manage Flares on Matthew Street next to the Cavern.
Oh, right.
Where the Cavern Club
Oh
is.
yeah, I
Two
filmed.
squares next door, yeah.
I filmed the Cavern Club. I went down. They let me sort of backstage and walk onto the set and everything.
It's cool, isn't it? It's quite
It's really cool. Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
we're quite naive to it, obviously, because we live on its doorstep and it's you see it every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, I work next door, so every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite nice.
Philharmonic was gorgeous as well.
It's good toilet.
Of course I went to the toilets in there. Yeah. Everyone goes. The Philharmonic toilets, like everyone. We're filming you, by the way. I hope that's all right. Yeah. I go around and I film all the famous pubs around the planet.
Yeah.
And all right, okay, yeah. And obviously this is a pretty cool bar over here opposite these guys. They get all of the traffic from here.
We didn't go for that. That's what we go for.
Is this what you come for?
Yeah.
It is pretty cool. Well, you're too young to have seen the film, surely.
She's not.
No?
She was flooded early. Yeah, straight take Star Wars, Ghostbusters.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so-
That's what we like. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, you're having a good time in New York.
Yeah, it's just been the elements have been really cold.
Yeah.
So, like, we've had snow, really bad wind.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's sun, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like the cold coming over like Albert Dock off the Mersey.
Literally.
I filmed there. I was up at like Pump House and stuff.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but it was cold. I was there a couple of weeks ago, so end of January it was really cold.
It's quite crazy though. Like we've seen like a lot of people from the UK, obviously while we've been here. Seen a lot of people from Liverpool, and it's they say, don't they, that like obviously the English travel the globe and just everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, well, we're gonna go. We've got more pubs to go to. Yeah, really nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you. Take care. See ya. Yeah, because I just wanted to tell a quick little story about that building right in the far distance, which is at the top. This is actually on Hudson Yards. So one of my routes goes from Hudson Yards down to Chelsea Market. So you got underneath that. That building, that really tall skyscraper with the point, has got a viewing platform, which you may or may not see coming across very well on the video. It's called The Edge. It's one of the highest, if not the highest viewing platform in New York. It's kind of cantilevered out on a point. But what's so terrifying about it is that the glass at the edge kind of leans out. So you can stand right on the edge and look down onto the ground below. So, I mean, it seriously makes you like vertigo want to jump. Like it's really, really creepy. But there were some people when I was last there, and I don't know how they did it, but they were leaning back onto the glass over the edge of the building. It just made my stomach go just looking at them. It was, I mean, I know you could probably like drive a truck into the glass, it's not going to fall down. It'll be so safe. But yeah, if you're feeling like you've got balls of steel, like that's the thing to do at the top of that. Terrifying. We've no time for that though. We've got pubs to go to. Look at this crazy little building. So look, we're under the watchful gaze of the World Trade Center. We're actually going to walk and head towards that now. But first, we're going to pop into Puffy's here. They're supposed to be pretty famous for a pint of Guinness. Last time I was here in January, they were fine for a pint, but they didn't want us to film. So you're either going to see a video coming up soon, or we'll be on to the next one. And we're going into hit like 2 sports bars a little bit closer in towards downtown. Let's go and see what happens. I just thought I'd find a little spot that was out of like the freakishly blustery wind to just reintroduce a little bit about historic pub crawls. So obviously we're following the routes in my book, which is out in November 2025 in all good stores. But of course, thanks for that. But of course, this isn't where it all started, because I've been making pub crawls for the last 20 years to my friends and my family. And when I lost my job in the summer of 2023, I decided to compile them all together into one book, thinking, you know, a few of my mates might appreciate that, and I look back on the memories, and it turns out that a lot of you also enjoyed that book and enjoyed those routes. And that's led to 2 London books, another book about England, and of course this book, which is 10 routes exploring around 110, 120 pubs across Manhattan. We get a really great mix of sports bars and old bars and like speakeasies. Where we're going to now is a place that I think this has won awards as a sports bar. It's pretty cool. They've had a refurb since we came last time, so we're going to roll the video now for the first time that we came here, and then hopefully we'll go in, we'll have a beer, and someone will tell us what they've been up to in the year since we were last here. Let's go.
This sports bar was just named in New York's top 20. But first we had to get there, and New York's rising plumes of steam is almost as iconic as its towering skyscrapers. Fear not, it's perfectly clean, as the 105 miles of piping clean the dishes of New York restaurants and sterilise hospital equipment.
Mudville 9 is pub number 5 on our Tribeca to the Battery route.
And inside, it's everything you'd expect from a New York sports bar, with a long counter facing half a dozen large TV screens. Whilst it's a modern fit-out here, like a lot of New York bars, it retains the old-style tills. And with the action pointing towards the TVs above the bar, they've taken the opportunity to pack these walls with some of the most iconic pictures of New York City and the characters within it. As an Englishman, it's a real novelty, all of the choice and these taps behind the bar. And I went for a Narragansett lager. Try saying that after a few. Cheers.
What's going on? My name's Ben. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
Happy to be in the selection. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's it.
Cool. We got our 30 taps here. All types of beer. We're always changing out. We're always trying to keep the best stuff on tap for you. I'm going to pour you one of my favorite beers here. It's going to be a Grim Wavetable. It's intense, but in the best ways.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Solid IPA for you. My personal favorite.
Beautiful. Look at that. Do I need to let it settle, or is it hazy? Have it like this?
I think it's good to go.
Good to go. Man says it's good to go. I'll trust Ben on this one. Oh yeah, that's lovely. That's really nice.
The Super Bowl was banging for sure.
You must have been,
honestly, the
nuts.
nights leading up to that, like the playoffs here, were always crazy, packed houses, always a great time. But we always have all the games on, all the matches, so we'll get people from all over. A lot of UK friends coming in, talking about the different soccer matches and whatnot. Learning a lot about rugby right now. Learning about whatever's on the TVs behind me. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not too good at rugby at the moment, so we'll talk about less about that. Other than here, where's your favourite bar in New York?
In New York, I'm a big fan of Birdie's out in Bushwick. I'd probably say that's my favorite bar. If I had to choose, there are a few gems, of course. But...
Well, this book's just all about Manhattan right now. I didn't feel brave enough to go out into.
You haven't ventured?
No, I do think it needs like almost needs a whole book really to do that.
Favorite bar in Manhattan, I would probably put Rudy's up there. My first 2 months here, I was in Hell's Kitchen, so we go over to Rudy's and get the free hot dog.
Oh, you get the free hot dogs non-stop?
Absolutely, non-stop. Yeah.
I've got a funny story about Rudy's. I've I filmed Rudy's last night.
Yeah.
It was absolutely banging. You could hardly move in there.
Absolutely.
It was all like busy all the time.
I don't think I've ever sat down in Rudy's.
No.
No,
And they nearly didn't let me in because they wanted to ID me. Now I'm 45.
Whoa.
I took that as a compliment. I was like, dude,
go.
I don't even want to show you my ID.
Yeah.
I want it on camera right now. You refusing to let me in or throwing me out because you think I'm under 21.
There you go,
Like,
man.
I just want that documented. Of course, at that point, he just realised I was a bullshitter and just said, no, just get in, mate. That's it, it's fine.
Right.
But yeah, I love Rudy's. Rudy's just really fun.
Rudy's is
Hell's
great.
Kitchen's quite fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
We filmed at Landmark Tavern around the corner from
Okay,
it, which
yeah.
is pretty iconic.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I love that. And then we're off next to Monk McGinns. We're going to go and check those guys out.
I haven't been to Monk's yet.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of great things
Yeah,
about
I think it's
Monk's,
like, one or two blocks down.
What's your favorite bar you've been to in Manhattan that reminds you of a UK bar? Like,
Oh,
more of that style.
that's a cracking question. I think the one that's most like a UK pub is
Yeah.
Fraunces Tavern.
Okay.
Right, because that's the one that's probably like because it's such an old building. It's
Yeah.
like right in the heart of the financial district near Stone Street,
Yeah.
like in what would have been like New Amsterdam. Like all those buildings are really old. They're the ones like that's the one that's got like the low ceilings and the dark wood. Like most places, they're like this. So it's beautiful, like big high ceilings, big long bars.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
really have that in a lot of like in English pubs.
Yeah.
Anything that's like this kind of high tends to be like an old banking hall or something. So yeah, probably like Francis from like a British pub perspective, I would say.
Cool. Yeah, I felt like in Hell's Kitchen there was a lot of like Irish pubs going.
There's a lot of Irish pubs. I mean, most people who run a pub in New York have got some sort of Irish heritage, right? That's kind of the way it goes.
That's kind of the way it goes. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, dude, man, that's wicked. That's a cracking beer. That was a great suggestion.
Absolutely, enjoy the beer.
Lovely. Cheers.
Got it.
Let's see if these guys here. I love this bar, by the way. This is a really well-loved bar. Which way? This way. Okay, that's upstairs. That's the secret bit. Let's see. I'm sure we'll get recognised. Watch this.
You won't need to be beaten with a stick to agree to a pint in this pub.
Monk McGinns is number 6 on our Tribeca to the Battery route.
Now, it's easy to miss this 1920s style craft beer bar with its high ceilings, exposed brickwork, and rustic wood throughout. And it's just like the typical sort of pubs and bars which I enjoy across New York that try and blend tradition with ensuring that you've always got a large TV screen to watch the sport on. And whilst they do a good job of ensuring there's plenty to look at and good company to chat at the bar, what really makes this special is the welcoming team who were delighted with our visit and keen to show me around, including a sneak peek at their upstairs speakeasy, which is usually heaving and offers a great selection of cocktails. But where there's a bar, there's a beer, and since they've been awarded the perfect pint, it would have been rude of me not to go for a Guinness. Before we went through the book together and talked about where we're going next, add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
I am here with the most famous but anonymous Guinness reviewers across New York. We've got New York State of Pint. Thanks for joining me, guys. We're going to keep your identities secret. We are in Monk McGinns. It is famous for having a cracking pint of Guinness, but of course, I've got to hear from the experts. What do you think of the Guinness in here?
Yeah, very solid pint, poured well, nice head on it, tastes great.
And how do you go about rating what is a good Guinness?
So we like to base the Guinness on the temperature, its creaminess, how it's poured, how it settles, and it's how it tastes overall.
Yeah, so what got you guys into this?
We got into it a couple of years ago. Basically, we just really wanted to find out what the best pint of Guinness was in New York City, and it was time to actually go and find that out. So yeah, we started our journey about 2.5 years ago, and slowly but surely making our way through the city.
That sounds like a terrible job to have, doesn't it? And so come on, I've got to put you on the spot here. Like, give me like a couple of tips. Where are the best places to get a Guinness in New York?
So if you look at our account, we have, a table of our top like 20 places. There's the Guinness standard has improved so much in New York over the past couple of years since we started doing this. Our top few are like Hartley's in Brooklyn, the Clonard in Brooklyn, Iona, and the Dead Rabbit. I think you've been to a few of them as well.
Yeah, I'm off to Dead Rabbit later at the later on today. I can't wait. Let's give this a taste test and see what I think. Not that I'm the expert, and besides, I'm also 5 pubs in at this point. Cracking stuff. Sláinte, lads.
Sláinte.
And we're going to try and film a little bit around here, but obviously be quite respectful of this. You know, there's obviously a big gap in the skyline here, and then there's this dominating the view, which is obviously the brand new World Trade Center. And here is Ground Zero's memorial. So we're going to go and have a look at it now. It is quite moving. I don't think that anything I'm going to say is going to do a lot of justice to it. So we'll just quietly come up here and film and show you, you know, what the memorial looks like. Have a look as well and see if you can spot some of the roses, because around the memorial are the names of all those that perished on the day. And family members come in and they put a rose, slot that into their name, and they do that on a special occasion or on their birthday. And they're different colours of roses as well for different occasions. So we'll quietly go up, we'll have a look now, and then the next thing that you'll see after this is we will roll to the video for O'Hara's, which is the pub that had almost like all the windows and doors blown off and was absolutely covered in rubble. It's right at the bottom of Ground Zero. It still exists today. It's almost like a pilgrimage now for firefighters and service professionals from across the world. It is an experience. It's one to come and make a pilgrimage to. But let's go and have a look at these, and then we'll show you what the memorials look like, and then we'll roll to the video for O'Hara's. Come on, Gabby, keep it running. We'll just have a shot over here. So this was the footprint of one of the towers, with the other one across the plaza over here. Incredible to think that 2 of the most iconic buildings that towered over New York are now these 2 empty spaces.
This beautiful tribute is the most heartbreaking bar in the world. The area opposite this pub was devastated when a terrorist attack brought down both towers of the World Trade Center, and under the shadow of the nicknamed Freedom Tower are the somber memorials. Birthdays are marked by a single rose tenderly slotted into the corresponding name. Over 2,500 people died during the attacks, of which 343 were New York City firefighters. So now back to the bar.
Horrors is number 7 on our Tribeca at the Battery route.
It was originally a happy hour destination for the professionals who worked nearby, but O'Hara's was transformed after the attacks, becoming a destination for the workers at Ground Zero. The walls of this pub are almost completely covered in embroidered patches from all over the world. It's a strange mix of both a somber occasion and an uplifting, loving tribute to the hard work and the sacrifice made by all those involved. Behind the bar are 2 huge scrapbooks detailing the events that are available to anyone who asks to look through them. And of course, many do. The Twin Towers were an iconic mark on the Manhattan landscape, and their absence, along with the lives lost, became a distinct marker in the lives of many Americans. For many reasons, this is a pub you can't miss.
It just doesn't get any warmer whenever I seem to come here. It is Arctic. We are heading towards kind of Battery Park. You know, that's the ocean over there, and the wind coming off it has been pounding us. We're going to pop into the Blarney Stone right now, That video is going to come up next. You'll note from that video last time I was here, it was also freezing. The snow was piled up even higher than it is. I mean, there's snow here, like, that is not going anywhere. We're actually going to take a detour for the purpose of this video. So the route kind of sort of winds its way in left. We're going to have a look at Wall Street and have a look at the Bull. But actually, we're just going to pop into Battery Park. We're going to brave that Arctic wind coming off the Atlantic and get that famous shot of the Statue of Liberty, which we can show you around the park before we head off into the town, into the financial district and the next few pubs, or the final few pubs.
Well, the Irish might kiss a stone, but it appears Americans like to touch a bollock. Yep, that's a cue. We've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to.
The Blarney Stone, it's pub number 8 on our Tribeca to the Battery route.
Honestly, who knows what those lunatics were doing with that bull? It was freezing when I was there, so I was really grateful to find this beautiful little Irish pub hidden underneath the scaffolding. It's everything that you would expect from one of these Irish bars. It gets its name from the legendary stone that grants the gift of the gab when kissed. This was a wonderful, spacious pub. I can imagine it's super lively when it's full, and there's space at the front for a live band. There was some interesting memorabilia on the walls, including celebrating the Rangers' Stanley Cup win. More on that when I meet the man who scored the winning goal in another pub coming up. And they still had space for Santa. I was taken back to the memories of my holiday in Ireland last summer with a pint of Smithwick's before taking a final look at the neon signs outside and checking my book to see where we're off to next. Why not join me?
Right, look, we've got hats on now. That was very needed, wasn't it? We were both struggling. Look, and there's a massive line here of people who are trying to touch the balls of the bull. I'm gonna try and turn around and see this. Look at this queue. Look at this queue of people. This is like, it's a never-ending queue of people touching the bull. Look, we're gonna see what they're looking at. You see? Oh yeah, let's all touch the bull's bollocks. Woo!
Good luck.
Yeah, it's supposed to bring you wealth apparently. We've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to.
I braved the cold to find New York's first ever pub. First, we had to get there, and it was past the Alexander Hamilton US Custom House, which unusually faces away from the water's edge, and into the snow-covered Battery Park to catch an eyeful of that iconic Welcome to the US.
White Horse Tavern, it's pub number 9 on our Tribeca to Battery route. And I could sit here all day. No, I couldn't, I'm freezing. Let's go in.
Located on one of the oldest blocks in New York, it was the original site of the Dutch West India Brewery. When fur trader Philip Gerardi became the first private tavern owner of the New World in 1641, it was called the Wooden Horse, after the notorious torture device. Fast forward to the mid-19th century, when the current building was constructed to house cotton dealers, merchants and factories. It wasn't until the repeal of prohibition in 1933 that the pub was reborn. But back to the bar, and even though I deserved something hot, who am I to turn down a crisp cold beer? Add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
See, the more observant amongst you will notice that I was just celebrating the fact that we just got ourselves a couple of hats. And then the very next stall that I walked along, I saw someone selling the exact same mustard-coloured hat that I bought last year when it was this cold. And I have my hat back. It's just perfect to keep my ears warm as we stare over at one of the most iconic sites of, well, not just New York, but I guess all of the free world. What's quite interesting, actually, is the Statue of Liberty was given to the US as a gift by the French. And it was actually originally like a copper colour. which is hard to imagine, right? Because you think of it as its famous blue, which is obviously just the salty sea breeze that has corroded it to give it its kind of blue sheen. And I'd say it was given by the French. If you are ever in Paris, you can find a very, very miniature version of the Statue of Liberty on an island in the middle of the river. See? The more you know.
This pub served beers to the founding fathers of the USA.
It's Fraunces Tavern. It's pub number 10 and the final pub on our Tribeca to the Battery route. Let's go in and get a beer.
At the edge of the financial district, you can find New York's oldest pub, and it's not even close to the others because this was originally built as a private family residence before transforming into the tavern you see today in 1762, making it listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And legend has it that it once served as the watering hole for many of the founding fathers of the US of A. But back to the bar, and I grabbed a pint of the Nitro Irish Red from Wolfhound, and today's assistant Gabby tried a fruit cider. Now, although it operates as a busy bar that's dimly lit with uneven, low ceilings, there's also a spacious restaurant and an exclusive whiskey room. The upper floors are largely dedicated to the museum, and amongst the 9 galleries is the famous Long Room, where on December the 4th, 1783, just 9 days after the last British troops had left American soil, George Washington gathered a group of officers to thank them for their service and bid them an emotional farewell. And as this is the last pub of the day, whilst there is much to explore, I'll stay here for some more.
So we're inside what is one of the most oldest and famous bars in New York. That feels a little bit weird saying bar because Fraunces Tavern has been here for hundreds of years. It is more than a bar, it's a whole museum. It's always busy. It's the one place that everyone says you must come here. And we're here having a pint of Wolfhound. And we've got a special guest who's going to tell us a little bit about what we're drinking, a little bit about the area. So yeah, go and shoot. Introduce yourself and let's go for it.
Yeah, I'm Jay Sykes. I'm the co-founder of Flagship Brewing Company in Staten Island, New York. Wolfhound is kind of like an offshoot brand. We produce this in collaboration with Porterhouse Brewery out in Dublin. I actually had to go there and learn how to make nitro beer from them.
What a hard life that is, yeah.
Someone's got to do it. But I'm a native New Yorker. My family's been here forever, and Fraunces Tavern is it's the pinnacle of historical bars in Manhattan. I mean, this is where George Washington dismissed the troops after the Revolutionary War. I mean, you're not going to find a more authentic, more historic place than this. And you were saying it's like drinking in a museum. There's a museum upstairs.
Yeah.
So it's a great place. The ownership here, a bunch of Irish fellas are great guys.
Tell us about your beer then. So how long have you actually been doing this?
So Wolfhound has probably been around. I think this St. Patrick's Day will be the second year that we're doing this. Mm-hmm. Again, there's not much when it comes to Americans making nitro beer. There's a few craft breweries that do it. So when we were kind of approached to do this collaboration, I knew I had to go over there and get a little bit of knowledge to do it. There wound up being a lot of knowledge. And, I might sound a little cocky when I say it, but I think we're making the best nitro beer in the United States without a doubt. We all know Guinness is Guinness, and I love Guinness. They're fantastic. But to have something that's, as we say, New York brewed, Irish ingenuity, people understand it. It's like, this is America's nitro beer, and we have a little bit more variety.
Yeah,
we're drinking the red right now.
Yeah, we're on the red. So we're on the red right now, but we're definitely going to hit ourselves up with a pint of the stout as well.
Sure.
Where are the best places other than here where we can pick up one of your beers?
Old Town Bar.
I love Old Town Bar.
They just put the red on. They're killing it with it.
Yeah, I love Old Town Bar. Is one of the most famous in New York. It was in the opening credits of Letterman, and bizarrely for like this beautiful old bar, which is one of the oldest in New York. It was where House of Pain filmed Jump Around.
Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. That is true.
Shit,
House
I didn't
of
even
Pain.
know that.
And most of the people in the video as well, jumping around in the video, are all like the band's like friends and family. They just basically bust them in And yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's been in loads of stuff as well.
It's in a it's always like you'll see on their Instagram. They're like, hey, we're closed for a little bit today. We're filming something.
Yeah,
it's that spot. I mean, but the vaulted ceilings, the mirrors, and
that's a great pub to be.
It was like one of those where like you kind of like you went in and had your beer at that pub, and I was like, oh man, like this is really cool.
Yeah. Largest seller of Kronbacher in all of the US as well.
Oh, there's a lot of Kronbacher in the United States.
But they're the biggest seller in all of the US. That bar.
Another great spot is right down here on Stone Street. Is Ulysses.
Yep, Ulysses been there, great. Yeah, Ulysses right next to Stone Street Tavern as well. Stone Street's a great place to go for a drink.
Stone Street's. If you're looking for a really good, you could start here and make your way up, and you're in a lot of good spots. So
we're off to film another route after this. We're going to film the Bowery to Financial District route. And that kind of brings us and ends us back in Stone Street, so we'll be very close to here. And I love like Jeremy's, which is the one where they got Jeremy's, to kind of promote the bar a few years ago, or they however many years ago, they did like a promo that if they said to girls, like if you take like your bra off, like hang it up on the wall, like we give you like $20 and a free beer, right? Yeah. And this is like the days before social media.
Correct.
And like when we go in there later, you will see that it's just like a wall and ceiling. Yeah, there's a lot of bras in there. There were a lot of women that wanted a free drink and $20.
Correct. Yeah, they cornered that market on me.
They totally cornered that market.
There's so many great places, man.
There's so like there are so many, and I always think it was quite interesting sitting in somewhere like as old as this, because one of the things that I got challenged on when I wrote the book is that people would say, well, why are you going to New York, right? Because America doesn't have any old bars, right? Because really, the country,
we're not that old.
The country like is younger than a lot of the pubs that I've filmed, you know, around the UK. But I suppose history is all quite relative, and of course we are sitting in one of the very oldest, and this is an incredibly historic pub. But you know, there are many others that they are still old in terms of the US. And of course, you know, the pubs in the UK had a really tough time with COVID, you know, closing on and off for 3 years, wiped out tons. We're in a bit of a crisis at the moment for pubs because a lot of pubs are closing down at a quicker rate than they have been over the years. And that's just after 3 years of COVID. Like, you take Prohibition and you say, right, we're literally not going to let you serve any drinks.
Your whole existence.
Your whole existence, like, it's done. And so, yeah, like almost the fact that there's anything that exists that is like Pete's Tavern, McSorley's, Earring, like here, that was pre-Prohibition, like it's incredible.
And you see all the people that kind of came through, and a few, like even with McSorley's, I mean, unbelievable place. McSorley's, if you're ever in New York City, get your ass to McSorley's, it's unbelievable. But like how many, there's only really 4 families, I think, 3 or 4 families that changed through since it started.
Yep.
And the big part of Wolfhound, and like, you know, me and my business partner Matt, we've been in the industry our whole professional lives, right? I mean, since we've been in our 20s. We opened the brewery together after that. But Wolfhound especially, it's special to us because you can't get it in a can. It's only, you can't get it in a bottle.
Here. It's only here.
It's only on draft in a local pub. And we saw, you know, we're older now. We have kids and everything too. And you see how much that, like, social media and people just like get everything delivered to their house, and some of these great places are dying.
Yep.
And for us, it's like the art of this conversation is dying as well.
Yeah.
So for Wolfhound, it's always like, just get your ass out to your local pub.
Yeah.
Have a drink. You know, have something. You know, like, so that's always kind of been our real inspiration behind it. It's been like we're trying to bring back pub culture of that art of conversation, and sitting there and talking to a few people you might not know, but. Because it's so easy to just become a recluse these days.
You could be, and it used to be like, you know, particularly in England, every town and city used to be built around a church and a pub. They were the 2 oldest buildings.
Yep.
That was it. The 2 oldest buildings. So you know that you could go to the pub. I know Gabby doesn't like the communal seats, but you'd be able to sit down with a stranger, and you know you could just talk to someone, and you know you can celebrate your team's success. You know, sometimes if you need to chat with a mate, you're going through a tough time, that's a place to kind of do it as well. You know, you're just celebrating an occasion.
Yep.
You know, or, you know, even you go to a funeral, like, and then you come to the pub and everyone has a great laugh at the end of it, right?
Sure. I mean, I tell the story all the time. I said for Wolfhound to figure out the nitro, I went over to Dublin. I worked with them for a week in the porterhouse over there. And one of the last few days I was there, like I had nothing to do. We were kind of done there. So Irish cab drivers are hilarious because they'll always tell you exactly where you should go.
Right,
So I was
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like, listen, like I want to go to like a real deal pub, like nothing like the, you know, the real touristy place. I just want to go to a really great pub. A few of the guys were like, you should go to the Diggers. You should go to the Diggers.
Oh,
The
Grave
Grave
Diggers.
Go to
With Kieran, amazing. Yeah.
So I went there,
yeah.
American guy by myself, because I'm in Ireland by myself.
Yeah.
Order a beautiful fucking pint.
Yeah,
Sit
like
down.
Grave Diggers in Glasnevin is about the best pint of Guinness
it's
you've
my
ever
favorite
got on the
place I've
planet.
ever
Yeah,
been to
it's
my
really,
entire
really,
life.
really nice.
I sit down. There's no TVs. There is no music. I just sit down. I'm in
Guinness
the thing.
and Irish coddle. That's it.
Right, and there's just randomly, like a young couple with their dog walked over to me like, you know, well, they were like sitting on the table like, what are you doing over there? Like, where are you from? We heard your accent. Are you from New York? I was like, yeah. Wound up like shooting the shit with them for a while. Another old fella came in, like sitting there talking. I wound up being there for 3.5 hours, drinking pints, talking to people I'd never met before.
Yeah.
And just like getting to know each other. And to me, like, that's what this is all about.
It is.
You know, it's and that can be the release you need every once in a while. Like, just go to the pub, have a few drinks, and you know, you reset, and your life doesn't seem so complicated and crazy anymore, and you're on with your way.
Well, I'll drink to that before before Gabby's arm gets too tired holding that phone up for that long. Cheers. Cheers.